What if the moment everyone laughed at you was actually the moment your life began? What if the person who said nothing, who sat in the corner, who kept his head down, was building something no one could see? Stay with me, because this story isn't just about one man. It's about you. Here's the thing, folks. Most of us know what it feels like to be the one who's overlooked. The one who has a dream, a real one, but doesn't say it out loud. Because the last time you said something, people smiled. But not in a kind way. You start to believe the noise. The whispers. The quiet little voice inside that says, maybe they're right. Maybe you're not enough. And so you go quiet. Not because you gave up, but because you're watching. You're waiting. You're building, in silence, something they can't see yet. The world loves loud people. The ones who talk the most. The ones who celebrate the most. But history? History was written by the quiet ones. Let me tell you about a young man named Marcus. 23 years old. Lives in a small apartment on the east side of town. Works the early shift at a warehouse, 6 in the morning, every single day. He's not flashy. He doesn't post much online. He drives a beat-up Honda that makes a sound at every red light. But Marcus has a dream. He wants to build his own business. A small brand, handmade leather goods. Wallets, bags, belts. Things built with his hands. His friends? They thought it was kinda funny. Leather goods? Bro, who's gonna buy that? You work at a warehouse, Marcus. Stay in your lane. And they laughed. Not cruelly, maybe. But enough. Enough that Marcus stopped talking about it. So he worked. Morning shift. Come home. Learn. Try. Fail. He'd watch YouTube videos until midnight, stitching techniques, leather types, pricing, branding. He bought his first tools with a paycheck he really couldn't spare. His first wallet fell apart in 2 days. He tried again. Second one was crooked. He tried again. Third one, someone at the warehouse saw it. Said, "That's kinda nice, actually." But then the same guy laughed and said, "You really think you can sell that stuff?" Marcus said nothing. He just nodded. Packed up his bag. Went home. And tried again. 6 months went by. His savings were nearly gone. His hands were calloused. His table was covered in scraps of leather and thread. And nobody, not one person in his life, believed it was going to work. One evening, Marcus was at the park near his building. Sitting on a bench. Just tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. The deeper kind. There was an older man nearby, feeding pigeons, of all things. They got to talking. The old man's name was Earl. Retired carpenter. 70 years old. Hands like tree bark. Marcus told him everything. The laughs. The failed wallets. The doubt. Earl listened. And then he said something Marcus never forgot. He said, "You know what a river does when there's a rock in its way?" Marcus shook his head. It doesn't argue with the rock. It doesn't complain. It just goes around. Noise is a rock, son. Other people's opinions are rocks. You don't fight them. You just keep moving. The river doesn't stop for rocks. And guess what? The river always reaches the ocean. Marcus sat with that for a long time. The river doesn't stop for rocks. Something changed in Marcus after that night. Not overnight. Not in a movie moment kind of way. But slowly, quietly, he stopped needing anyone to believe. He only needed to believe. He restructured everything. He took one product, just one wallet, and made it perfect. Spent 3 weeks on it. Every stitch, every edge, every detail. Then he photographed it. Posted it online. No followers. No ads. No connections. Just the work. Guess what? Someone bought it. A stranger. In another state. Paid full price. Then another. Then 3 in 1 week. He didn't tell his friends right away. He just kept going. Kept refining. Kept building. Because the river doesn't stop for rocks. A year later, Marcus had a wait list. People were ordering 3 weeks in advance. He quit the warehouse. He moved into a small studio, his workspace and home combined. And one evening, his phone buzzed. It was a message from one of the same friends who had laughed. "Bro, I saw your page. This is actually incredible. I always knew you had it." Marcus smiled. Not because of the validation, but because he finally understood something true. The people who laugh at your beginning will narrate your success like they were there all along. Here's what I want you to take from this. Silence isn't weakness. Silence can be strategy. When you stop trying to convince people and start trying to build something real, that's when the work gets serious. You know what separates the people who make it from the people who don't? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's the willingness to keep going on the days when nobody's watching. On the days when nothing works. On the days when the people you love don't get it yet. The river doesn't need the rock's permission to keep moving. And neither do you. Marcus didn't become rich overnight. He just became someone who trusted himself, one day, one stitch, one quiet hour at a time. And that's really all it takes, folks. Not a perfect plan. Not a loud announcement. Not the approval of people who can't see what you see. Just the decision, made again and again, to keep going. If this story meant something to you today, maybe you're building something too. Maybe you've been quiet about it. That's okay. Keep going. If you'd like more stories like this, stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things in silence, subscribe. We put a new one out every week. And who knows? The next story might be yours.